Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to break down the Ride Fuse boot. That's right, TC's boot of choice. We're going to go through all the features in it so you know what you can find when you're trying these on. Remember, the best boot is the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. So if you are going to try on the Ride Fuse boots, make sure it fits your foot and fits your needs, because if it doesn't, it's not the boot for you. Get sized properly. Get in the boot that works for you. You know who you are. So there's a couple cool things going on with the shell of the Fuse. You got this hard TPU toe cap on the shell of the boot. This is really aggressive. Takes up a lot of space. You're going to be able to hike with this, rest your board on it, and really have minimal issues. You do have a double stitch seam right down here by the laces, and right over here on the side, right where it meets the fabric, you may, if you're really aggressively hacking this with your edge on the chairlift, get this to fray, but by and large, I highly doubt you're going to. And then on the back spine of this, you got urethane all the way up there. This is just gonna give it a lot more rebound. It's gonna hold its shape better. It's not gonna crease. And that works in conjunction with this articulation right here. It's not the most aggressive articulation, but it does allow it to flex so that you don't get that bulge out in there. Then you also have the slime tongue right here under these laces, and that as well holds its shape better and gives you more rebound. Basically, with the urethane in this boot, it's gonna hold up longer. Now, one thing that I have noticed with the slime tongue is sometimes down where the articulation is, they tend to crack when they've just been worn a lot, or they've been out in excess cold for extended periods of time, or they haven't dried out. Just something to keep an eye on down the road of the boot near the end of its lifespan. Not something you got to worry with it right outside the box. You do have a full Michelin tread. That's right, they use the same rubber as Michelin tires, so that way it's going to grip better on icier, colder conditions. You're going to just feel that. It's got a solid tread pattern, so you're not going to slip. It's a little bit of a beefier sole, so unless you're really walking on firm, hard rocks that are pointy, you're probably not going to feel anything underneath, so you're not going to have as much give underfoot. This is really going to help with that kinetic energy, that chatter, when you get into like really lumpy, chundery terrain, or you're riding around on top of death cookies, you know, like those frozen ball bearings. It's just going to work out a little bit more for you. With the Fuse, you do get two types of lacing with this. So you got laces on the front, and then you got this boa on the side that does your internal harness. That's nice. It just keeps your heel locked into place. And the nice thing about this is you can crank it, you can leave it a little looser. It's all personal preference. And then with laces, it's the same thing. With this being lace, you do have these cleats that are nice. They grip the lace. They can lock it in place as well. That's just going to help hold them a little more snug. With the internal harness being hooked up to that boa on the side, you can really crank this down. And with the burrito wrap liner on this boot, when you tighten this boa down, this helps just make it more snug with the shell of the boot. The other thing that you have going on is down in the bottom of this, you do have that heat tape in there, so that's going to reflect heat back into the liner, just so your foot stays a little bit warmer over time. Hey, why don't you like this video? And while you're at it, why don't you subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And trust me, we got a ton of programming for you. The Fuse features Ride's Dream Liner. This is a burrito wrap liner, meaning that on the side is where the opening is for the liner instead of right down the front. This is going to make a more snug fit. You notice those of you that have like thinner legs, smaller calves, stuff like this, these are really good. They suck up volume, and it changes the power dynamic when you drive into this, so you might feel it being a little bit more rigid. It's a fully intuition liner, so it's heat moldable, which I would recommend that you do. The only thing that you got to worry about is this big seam right here. Some people with really sensitive pinky toes tend to feel this. Otherwise, I wouldn't worry about it. You do have the cord out heel pockets in there as well. So the nice thing about that is If you got a big ankle bone, this will push out. And then you got the external J-bar that runs all the way up. This gives it a little bit more rigidity. When you open this liner up, you've got these deep, aggressive J-bars in there. So that really just holds it down. You got fantasy fur at the top to help you slide in. And then you've also got the slip and grip fabric right here. This will grip on the back of your sock if it starts to elevate. Overall, this is a really amazing liner. I think that people that have problems with just too much space between the shin and the tongue, this is going to help. If you've got a really narrow heel, this is also going to help. There's just a lot of good stuff going on with this liner. With the stock insole on the Fuse, you get the Impacto Elite. This has a very deep heel pocket to it, and you've got that posting around there so that it holds its shape. So you're going to notice the top of this is easy to collapse, but down below it takes a little more effort. For those of you that are casual riders, 5-15 days a year max, this is probably going to be fine for giving you foot support, but for anyone else, or if you got foot problems, I would recommend that you replace this. Measuring this at the widest section of the forefoot, we line it up at the 1 inch mark on this, and this comes to 5 inches, so this is 4 inches wide, so kind of just your average width forefoot in there. Measuring the shell without the liner in, this is a size 10. That comes to just under 10 inches in the rear, and on the tongue, it's about 10 3/4. Measuring this with the liner in at the back comes to 11 1/4. And then on the tongue, it is about 10 1/2. Obviously, it's gonna be a little jaded because of that burrito wrap liner in there. And once again, this is a size 10. So this is kind of just a well-rounded lace boot. It's kind of that middle of the road, all mountain. Anyone can pretty much get into it. It's going to be solid for them. It's got good rebound because of the urethane in it. It is a little narrower in the heel and a little wider in the forefoot, but not by a lot. I'd say it's still average width in there. The flex on this is conducive, like I said, for all mountain use in there. Basically, I'd recommend this for just the casual rider or someone that likes a lace shell, doesn't mind having a boa internal on that, and wants a burrito wrap liner. Hey, like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. All right, so hopefully now that we've gone through all the features on the Ride Fuse boot, you're a little more dialed into what this actually offers and who this is for. If you don't think this is the boot for you, why don't you go check out one of our other boot breakdowns.